Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our series in BeamNG and automation, where we're making cars from each generation and kind of sticking to this kind of family theme here. So we did 60s last time, which was kind of fun. It was a V8 powered monstrosity. For those of you who know the 60s to the 70s, the 60s, especially late 60s, was dedicated to just power. We don't care about aerodynamics. The 70s, of course, you had the oil crisis, which caused some tightening of budgets, and you started to also see the things like introduction of turbocharging as well as fuel injection. So that's going to kind of tweak things for us. So let's go ahead and put our 76 together, see what we have. Oh my God, look at how boxy that thing is. Oh boy, I just want a sedan. Just give me a, ooh. Oh man, some of these things are painful to look at. Look at this guy. Oh yeah, that's definitely a family car there. 1972 Sedan. I just want a boring old sedan here. Coupe. Let's see here. Just 19, I can't use that one. Let's see. Hatchback 2.29. That's a pretty tiny wheelbase. So this thing is definitely going to be our winner here. I choose you. All right, let's do it. So we're in the 70s now. So we're going to do some aluminum. We're going to stick to the monocoque because it's easy. We're also going to increase to corrosion-resistant steel. Our engine this time, I was very tempted to do a transverse, so we'll say that for the 80s. So we'll do longitudinal, which guess what? Means we're going to get stuck with a rear-wheel drive car again. So of course, we're going to stick to the McPherson strut because it's easier in the back. Again, we have a couple different choices. We're still rear-wheel drive, but we're also going to be in a situation where, because we're going to be lower horsepower because we need a smaller engine, because now we're in the 70s, because we need to save gas, we're probably going to get stuck with a slightly different ride here. So I'm actually going to go with a double wishbone suspension. I want something that's a little bit heavier duty in the back for that purpose. Create ourselves a new engine. Oh, this is embarrassing. Oh my gosh, this thing is going to be absolute doo-doo. Can't wait. Inline 4. Ugh, yuck. Apparently it has no CC. Cast iron, well, this is the 70s, so I guess we could pull out some things. We're obviously going to be and we're going to do with an aluminum head here. Oh my gosh, look at that thing. That is a box of a little oil filter just chilling on the side here. It's so tiny. I could just pick this thing up and walk away with it. 2-liter. This is a 2-liter engine. And we're going to, again, be inspired by the 70s here. Since we don't have fuel injection yet. Ooh, we have to name this thing. This is a notable 1976 eco family. I'm going to call it that. It sounds pretty good to me. So a 2-liter, it's not, I don't think that's going to be enough. This thing's going to be like 120 horsepower. Let's roll with it. All right, let's see. Going into this one, we could probably go pretty cheap here. I'm not that worried about that. We'll be cast, and of course, this is a V4, so we need something that's got a balance shaft on it, and that's probably going to be fine. I'm not going to tweak it just yet. Compression, it is a 70s. We can go a little higher there. Cam profile, I'm going to leave alone. Leave that alone. RPM limit. We'll go up to 7,000. It's not going to hit 7,000. Let's see here. We have a normally aspirated engines here. We have ourselves some other really, really good stuff. And let's go take a look at it real fast. All right, so we're going to skip over the turbocharger here. Very, very, very tempting, but not yet. Not yet. All right, this is the 1970s. We're trying to save fuel, so I'm actually going to get myself mechanical fuel injection. And we're going to go all the way, and we're actually going to do per cylinder here, which is a lot, especially for a V4. We could probably get away with a single, but we're actually going to go all the way here, and that's going to give us a little bit more. We'll do a little bit performance on this. We could do standard. We want reliable, so I'm going to pick that one real quick. We're still on. Now we have unleaded fuel, which means catalytic converter time. And this is all going to be a disaster later, but we'll deal with that. All right, we'll do cast mid. Okay, then. We'll do that, and we'll do straight through. Okay, so let's start playing. So the first thing that I noticed is the fact that we actually have better horsepower than expected. I was expecting like 110, 115, 125 is not bad. And again, we haven't tuned anything yet, so we have some work to do here. All right, let's go ahead and tighten up those headers a little bit. Looks a little better. We'll go over to the valves. The valves are working kind of funny here. We'll get our manifold is obviously choking a bit. Increase the size of that. Again, this is a pretty finely tuned engine here. It's 125 horsepower. Again, once you move to fuel injection, things change very, very quickly. All right, let's see. Our valves are working pretty good, but they could be worked a little harder there. And we're getting a warning here about something. A little RPM stress on pinion. I could fix that real quick. There we go. It takes care of that. The ignition, full throttle to avoid knock. Okay, to get best main cruise. Okay, the engine is retarding ignition timing at full throttle to avoid knock. Over too much compression. That's easy to fix. So one of the ways you can fix it, of course, is we can increase our fuel mapping a teeny tiny bit. Usually that's kind of my first stop. And again, I can do other things. And this is pretty good. I don't think there's anything else I need to change here. Let's see, 129. Get 131 with a better one of these. And obviously, I could probably get... it really doesn't make that much of a difference. Again, that's just 0.5 horsepower. Of course, I could skip one of the mufflers and get 129 out of it. It's a little better. Here's one of the fun things you could do. Increase quality by exactly 1 to kind of push you over the edge. Okay, this is going to be a very loud car. I'm taking a look over here. Its loudness is pretty high. The engine itself, though, it's decent. It's 341 pounds. It's 130 horsepower. It's decently efficient. I'm actually going to reduce the RPM even more on this thing. It's a little high. And again, there's no reason why I can't just take it right to the line there, and that looks pretty good to me. So it's 130 horsepower. That's decent. Not great. I need to go back and fix my exhaust again. Let's see here. Exhaust. Let's see. Exhaust. Boop. Too much. Of course, I damaged my exhaust performance a little bit. Perfect. All right, I'm happy with that. So it's about 130 horsepower, 5,800 RPM. Nothing special. We're definitely going to go to space age, because why not? All right, come over here. Let's give that thing a try. It sounds like a cheap 4-cylinder engine. All right, cool. So now we got that part taken care of. Sweet. Let's go ahead and go back up to a 5-door here. Yeah, there we go. Now we're back to civilian vehicles. This thing is going to be so painful to drive. Ugh, the 70s were tough time here. Tough time. We'll go with nice conservative colors here. Let's see here. We'll create a new color. We'll go to advanced mode. Ooh, what do we want to do here? Let's do a nice deep blue. How about this one? Oh, yeah, it's painful. So let's pick something right in here. I do not want that much flake. A little reduce the shininess. Pearlescent. Yeah, no, not putting pearlescent in that. And we're going to reduce the color dramatically to make something that looks like that. Okay, I can work with that. I can work with that pretty well, actually. Nice. I'm going to go ahead and check. Looks good. It's called roof. Love it. All right, we're going to stick to our theme that we've been sticking to all along here. We have big circular objects on our I was going to say airplane here. We have our circular. I like this little forward. Also like the fact that the bumper's integrated now, so I don't have to go hunting for it this time. All right, let's go get ourselves an indicator again. Don't change what's not broken. That looks pretty good to me. Of course, we can't even see that. Whoa! Easy. All right, and we're just going to... Whoa. Welcome to trying to move things. It can be very... Oh, boy. Now I've done it. Let's see. We'll switch it to movement mode. Just sting it over to the edge here like that. And I'm happy. It's so ugly already. Love it. All right, let's go back to our taillights here and get this thing all sorted out. This is the 70s, so I'm thinking rectangles. Let's see here. We'll grab something like that. Oh, that's painful. That hurts. I think there's laws against having taillights that ugly. All right, let's open that sucker up again. Switch modes here. I want a little bit more scale. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's so derpy. All right, keep going here. Let's see. A grill. We're going to stick to a kind of boring modern grill here. Nothing too excessive. Pretty good size right there. Like a little honeycomb. You probably would have had that in the 70s. Let's see here. We're going to grab a vent. We don't need a vent on this thing. That's overrated. We don't have the V8 anymore. Don't need that anymore. Sunroof, we're not going to have that. Aerodynamics, we're not going to have that. Lip, we're not going to have that. Spoiler, wing, we're not going to have any of that stuff. Fuel cap, we'll go ahead and grab one of those. Stick it on the back. Looks pretty good to me. Handles, let's see here. What's a nice, ugly handle here? That's pretty ugly. How about this one? Yeah, there we go. We'll need another set of those, of course, because we're back to the proper family car. Oh my gosh, this is going to be embarrassing to drive compared to the previous versions. Oh well. All right, let's see here. We got a nice boring mirror. I like that. I like the little signal in that mirror. Oh, that's nice. Good size. Good size. It's looking a little nicer. Body molding. We're going to skip all that fun stuff. It wouldn't be a 70s car if you didn't put the antenna in the front, sticking out of the side. It doesn't quite look right, but too bad. I'm going to stick with it anyway. License plate. Let's go flip around to the back. I don't need any advanced settings. They're nice to see. We can make that all. I'm going to make that visible. California, like this one. We're going to put that right there. Obviously, we've already gone through this one. New York automation. Okay, that was easy. Let's see, bumper bar. We already have a bumper. I'm not going to change it. Let's go ahead and get some lettering in here. This is an N. I'm going to go stick it because this is my notable trim here. For those of you who don't know my trims, notable is going to be my kind of average, and my legend is going to be my expensive brand. All right, favorites, don't need that. Wheels, obviously we're looking at 1970 steel. Oh yeah, there we go. Why are these tires so big? Exhaust tip, can't do anything about that. Let's see here. All-wheel drive, look at that. Let's see here. We're going to be an automatic again, and we're going to be still a 3-speed, and probably going to be pretty slow. 130, I don't think so. We'll do about 120 here, and still we're going to be open differential. That's just how it's going to have to be. All right, the reason you always do that, of course, is that gives us the ability to do silly things like this. So I can go like that, and we're dual single exhaust. Actually, I hate that. There's not a lot of things I hate, but I did not care for that. There we go, and now we have a little exhaust pipe coming out of the body. That's rough. All right, let's keep looking, get some wipers on this thing. Classic wiper. It's classic for a reason. And let's put that right there. Looks pretty good to me, and it's already all kind of sitting on there. Of course, we could be lazy and do one of these things, and I like that. Nice. It's way too shiny for a 1970s piece of junk. So stick with it, sir, now. Stick with it for now. All right. Transmission, I'm happy with all that. I'm not going to change that. Obviously, we're going to have radial tires here. We're going to be hard, long life tires. Plenty of room for big honking tires there, and I'm not going to change anything yet. We're not going to put fancy alloy tires on here. Let's see. It is the 70s. I do get disc brakes now. I always make them gigantic. And, of course, in the back, they're going to be drum, and they're going to be huge drum brakes. That's just kind of the nature of the beast here. I'm not sure what we're going to have to do to this, but we'll find out in a minute. All right, let's see here. Semi-clad, again, a little bit of aerodynamics goes a long way. Brake airflow, we'll put this at 100% for now because we're probably going to have brake fade. Interior, it's going to be standard, 8-track. We're going to have a nice standard 8-track player because, 1970s. Could go with the extra seat in the front, but that's a little too much for us. We're going to be, again, with the 70s, we had that nice sort of really, really twitchy steering. We're now going to go ahead and get we're going to do 1970s optimization here. Let's see, we have hydro pneumatic, are very popular. Standard are still not bad. These are pretty comfortable. We're going to go back to progressive here again to keep things relatively simple. I don't want to do anything too sophisticated here. All right, let's see. We can have a gas monotube. Why not? We'll tune this for normal, and we'll see what we get here. We got passenger fleet car. I'll take it. Okay, load capacity. Problem 1, easy to solve. We're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And yes, I didn't count those properly. Rear dampers are hard. Pop, pop. How's that? Front brake force is very high. Wide tires. Okay, easy fix. Easy fix. Brakes. Wow, this is like one of the first times I've ever done the brakes that they're like actually easy to use. That was probably too much. Let's see here. We need to drop that just to there. Cool. So now we can take the rear first, and we'll go and drop it down to, let's call it 30%. I was so close. I never get that close. And by the way, you always want to check this very carefully because you don't want to accidentally. Because if you have stronger rear brakes than you have front brakes, you have really big problems. All right, see, drivetrain. I'm guessing the speed isn't set correctly. 126. You're really going to get 126 out of this thing? I do not believe you. Let's see. Front tires are wide. Okay, easy solve. Easy solve. Let's go up here. 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's see what that did for me. Front tires are still wide. 1. I want to keep these the same because obviously the guy's got to change the tires. I want to keep them the same. This is great. I'm happy. I'm actually really, really happy with this. Let's drop this to about 50. See what it does for us. Nothing. Drop it to 0. Ooh, problems. Yeah, we just need just a little bit of brake airflow here. A slight brake fade. We don't need a lot of brake fade. We don't want people's brakes locking up on them. I don't care. I mean, again, this is supposed to be a family car. It should be somewhat safe. Slight brake fade. Let's go up to 40. Good enough. Sweet. Well, this is one of the easiest. Oh, I've improved the brakes a little bit here. All right, let's go back to our brakes again. Welcome to the iterative design process. For those of you new. All right, let's go reduce this a little bit. And again, we want to try to get this pretty darn close. Oop, not that low. Let's see, about 85. Again, I don't want those rear brakes to be better than the front brakes. That's dangerous. All right, that's good, especially with the front-wheel drive car. All right, that's good. Suspension's good. Testing. Oh, boy. This is going to be embarrassing. I think the time to beat is like 145, 146. Wow, that is the fastest car we have built so far. That's interesting. I remember we're using a lighter engine now and some other things that we can kind of take advantage of it. Okay, I was not expecting that in the slightest. I was really expecting this thing to be a lot worse. It is definitely not going to have the speed of some of the cars we've designed so far, but it's actually decent. I am just so surprised. All right, here we go. So that's all good. 3-gear automatic, a McPherson strut, plenty of weight. Ah, see, that's the key. It's so much lighter. Horsepower, not the greatest. The aluminum definitely helps us out here. Everything else looks pretty good. All right, let's find out what happens when we bring it to BeamNG. And here we have it. It's kind of bulky. It got kind of crunchy. Kind of reminds me of the 1950s version, but really, really boxy. So this will be an interesting drive. Well, it's not a bad seating position. I can work with this. All right, so here we go. Ooh, oh, it's lighter. It is lighter. All right, let's go. So a couple things we're looking for here. First of all, we're looking to put some body work into it at some point. The second thing is, of course, is our normal handling. One thing I noticed right away is even though it has like 80 less horsepower than its predecessor, it's oh, there goes the front left tire. Okay, I was not expecting that. So the braking is terrible. Even though it has 80 less horsepower than its predecessor, it's surprisingly... Whoa! Okay, never mind. Maybe I shouldn't do that. It's very nimble. Like, it doesn't feel like it is a very, very lightweight car. But it's definitely suffering from... It needs some tuning because it's very, very loose. All right, let's go ahead and test it on the highway here. And we'll go ahead and set the cruise control. We'll do 50 here. And let's see how we do for mileage. Now, remember, our previous versions have been like 30, 40 miles per gallon. This one right now is 49 miles per gallon. So, these folks over in OPEC, they've definitely tormented us enough. But we've managed to design something that works pretty well. Let's go ahead and speed this up a little bit. And it's going to knock our fuel consumption up quite a bit here. We're looking at about... 51, 52 miles per gallon. So incredibly, we've actually created a car that is the most efficient thing yet. And I can actually see the little 4-cylinder engine just sitting there because when we got the base trim model, I didn't realize it didn't come with an interior. I love watching the antenna do its little happy dance too. Handling-wise, it's not tuned properly. I'm not saying it's bad handling, but it definitely is suffering from having too much grip in the front. Like, it really should be understeering, but because there's a lot less weight in this car, it has this kind of natural lightness to it that, yes, it communicates with you very, very well, but I'm really, really having a tough time, especially with the brakes. The brakes are just too strong. You can watch me have to do my snow driving here. It's also very, like I said, very loose. When I think of 1970s cars, generally they tend to be like kind of stiff, kind of uncomfortable, very unrefined. Not that this is refined in any means. It's supposed to be a civilian, family car kind of a thing like that. But what I'm getting from it is somebody tried to take a muscle car from the 60s and didn't bother to update anything on it. Very interested to see how this goes. Oh my gosh. Whoa, okay. So we definitely need to work on those back tires because right now they're way not enough grip. Remember, because our weight now, our inline 4 that's up in the front seat is not really holding the back end of the car down right now. So it's kind of on us to figure that out. Performance, it's quick. It's quick. I mean, I can easily get up to 100, but it's not nearly as fast as the 1950s or 60s version. But it is definitely, I'm not going to call it, it reminds me of like a Ford Escort rally car kind of a thing like that. It's got that kind of way too much grip in the front, and it's mostly under control. I do not like the brakes. The brakes are so dangerous. Please invent anti-lock brakes soon. We're getting killed here. All right, we'll go sneak around this corner. Whoa! We died. So that one, of course, again, to give you an idea of that, it just came right out. And remember, this is a rear-wheel drive front-engine car, and it just fishtailed. Again, this is I think this feels more like a 60s car than it feels a 70s car. It just desperately needs some tuning here. It does not have enough grip in the back. Let's go ahead and take this corner. I'm going to hit something. Oh, just likes to skid. That won't be the 500th time. Transmission's pretty good. Probably could have gone with a manual on this one. It didn't need the automatic, but it is easy to drive from a just go perspective. You definitely just don't have the power the earlier version had. So I hate to say it, but this is probably the worst vehicle I've done of this series so far. It's just too dangerous in a corner. And it's not underpowered. I was happy about that part. The brakes are very dangerous. It definitely needs a little bit more less brake force in the rear, because right now it likes to drift. But if you notice, if you take a turn, the front wheels just have so much more traction than the back end. So when you take turns, you can see how it kind of hangs after you take the turn. That's really, really dangerous. And again, now think about when this is wet as opposed to being nice and dry like it is today. You know, if this were a nice highway, and again, I'm only doing, let's see here, it's a 55 miles an hour right now, how fast I'm going. So if you want to imagine this on a highway kind of a thing, and you know, oh, there's a long turn or like there's an off ramp or something like that, and you want to go ahead and tap the brakes, you would be in a worse way here. Let's go ahead and hit the brakes carefully here. Now this is where the suspension is going to get tested. Yeah, it's actually not bad. It's not bad. Again, because you're not as fast as the other vehicles that we've made so far, it's not terrifying off-road. Like I said, it really reminds me of, like I said, like a 1968 Ford Escort kind of a thing. It's got that kind of looseness to it. Again, it's just hard to explain. It's also a very stiff ride. I'm noticing as I'm going over these bumps here, I'm getting bounced. A good thing we're not in VR today, because this would give me one heck of a headache kind of a thing like that. Very curious to see how fast we can get going over the hill. Okay, oh boy. Oh boy. Actually, it's pretty, I'm not going to lie, this is a decent rally car. I think it's found its source here. If I use this as a rally car, we would have been all set. Of course, we'd have to fix the brakes if we wanted to use this as a rally car. But yeah, okay, so this is what it's calling is really rally car and not driving your family to school. Oh boy, this is going to be the fun part. Here comes the switchbacks. Okie dokie. Easy. Easy. No, 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 no. Yep, there's the inline four not pulling its weight there. Just it can't do it. Go ahead and hit this. Stomp right on the inline. Oh, no, 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 no. And again, imagine Dad driving through Italy in this thing and spinning out like that on a major road with traffic in both directions. I'm sure that'd be wonderfully safe for all members involved. But like, look at it. 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 Way too dangerous. Way, 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 way too dangerous of this family car. You just no. And again, there's a lot of little things I can remember. This is the inline four too. This isn't like the big V8 we had back in the 60s. And this is the little tiny thing. Okay, that's a little better. All right, pretty good so far. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's sneak up here in the corner. Hold down the brakes. This just needs a lot of work. A lot of tuning to make this thing doable. I don't hate it, but like it's too dangerous. All right, there we go. Okay, it's got to have nice responsive steering though. I like that. There we go. Probably just took one of the mirrors off. All right, let's do our little victory spin. Nice. Cool. We got to turn our wheels a little bit. Piece of junk. Not gonna lie. The only redeeming quality of this vehicle is the fact that it is a little engine. It gets decent gas mileage, but it just does not go well. There's nothing. It just feels cheap. And if it was supposed to be something like a product of like the 1970s, it actually feels like a product of the 1970s. You know, we're not going to bother to be, worry about safety or anything like that. Everything needs to be cheap. We don't care how everything. And with one time I needed to peel out, it didn't do it. Just go cheap. Just go cheap. That's so bad. All right, let's go down the hill here and see what happens. Easy in the brake. Oh my gosh. That sounded funny. Gosh golly gee whiz. All right, down the hill we go. I don't know, let's get down to the main highway. We're taking a shortcut. Don't worry, I know where I'm going. Okay, that's pretty good. All right. Oh, no. Brakes. 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 Oh, my brakes. Oh, my brakes. Oh, my brakes. How am I still alive? Oh, my brakes. Wonder if it still works. It still works. So at least it's durable, but I don't know about reliable. Yeah, piece of junk. Definitely my least favorite. But we have the 80s coming up soon, and you know what happened in the 80s. Enjoy.